impact on politics and better society. Our con side, Sam and Jackson. Our pro side, Allie, Alyssa, and Marcus.
First of all, I would just like to take the time to thank some people who have made this debate possible today. First and foremost, thank you to my partners, Alyssa and Marcus, for being very helpful, motivated, and easy to work with throughout this whole process. Thank you to our opponents, Jackson and Sam, for working hard and giving us outstanding competition. Thank you to you, the audience, for being here today and taking the time to listen to us. And thank you to you, Mr. Naylor, for preparing us for this moment all year. We would not be here without you. One day in late August of 2018, Greta Thunberg took a stand outside Sweden's parliament for the first time. She held a simple sign, black letters on a whiteboard, that said "School Strike for Climate." At that point in time, the 15-year-old was by herself and felt completely alone, with not much support behind her at all. This loneliness did not last long, however. Within a year, her school strike had inspired millions of young people across the world to take to the streets and demand action on climate change. She became the biggest voice on one of the biggest issues facing the planet, communicating and discussing these important issues with world political leaders. She's a perfect example of a Gen Zer making an unbelievable impact in not only politics, but on the world in order to better our environment. Named the 2019 Time Magazine Person of the Year, she is continuing to make a difference with her voice and through many arguments. And social media is providing a platform for her voice to be heard and communicated around the world. Hi, my name is Allie Campbell, and today my partners Alyssa, Marcus, and I will be debating the Generation Z's impact on politics will better society. Before I get too far into my argument, I believe that it is necessary to talk about this fascinating idea of politics. Politics, as we all know, are the activities associated with the governance of a country or other area, especially the debate or conflict among individuals or parties having or hoping to achieve power. In addition, I believe that it is necessary to explain that according to Pew Research, Generation Z is defined as anyone being born after 1997. Keep in mind that we are on this stage today discussing the impacts of our generation, us students up here, and you guys listening in the audience. Overall, we would like you to view our debate through the lens of accepting the growing and expanding types of technology, social media, and communications. No other time have we had the chance to be connected with as many people to share and spread our ideas than now, because of the technologies that are available to us. As evident as it was in my intro, Gen Zers definitely have the ability to make a positive impact on politics that will benefit society due to the availability of social media and the ability to upload important videos, pictures, views, opinions, and much more that will reach many people. Recording an event and uploading it can affect politics for weeks or months, and one right piece of information that's shared can affect public discussion or discourse for weeks as well. With new apps emerging and old apps evolving, social media has become a platform to stand up for what you believe in, and Gen Zers are right in the midst of all this developing technology. A perfect example of this is the use of social media apps, such as Twitter, by minorities to bring to light certain issues such as police brutality, discrimination, and racism that would otherwise not have been exposed. Countless videos and pictures have been uploaded by Gen Zers across the world to stand up for their civil rights and bring attention to some of the atrocities that minorities are facing. Events and interactions that were once hidden are now being discussed and brought to the attention of many political leaders, and most importantly, the American voters who ultimately choose those leaders. This brings more awareness to important situations than what we talked about. In conclusion, we believe that Generation Z has and will continue to make an impact on politics that benefits society as a whole. According to the Pew Research Center in an article written in 2019, Gen Z, diverse and on track to be the most well-educated generation yet, is moving toward adulthood with a liberal set of attitudes and openness to emerging social trends. This shows that we have all the tools to make a difference at our fingertips, and we have the knowledge to put those tools to use. If you disagree, you're counting yourself out, your peers out, and the entire generation out. We are the future, and we have the ability to change the culture of our country. Thank you.
I would like to thank my partner, Jackson, for his hard work and dedication. To our opponents, Allie, Alyssa, and Marcus, for debating against us. To Mr. Naylor, for being a fantastic teacher, allowing us to debate. And to the audience, for listening. Modern politics, a topic that sparks many people's interest or resentment. Think of it, you get into a conversation about, let's say, climate change with your friend, and you hash it out. In the end, you just keep your belief about climate change that you held initially. The reason why? We are too divided. In our modern political climate, you can clearly see the division. Trump just did his State of the Union, but did you see that Pelosi ripped up Trump's State of the Union? This shows that our society is divided. Hello, everyone. I am Sam Gorman, and Jackson and I will be arguing that our generation, Generation Z, can make an impact on politics because of political division. Therefore, Generation Z can better society politically because of this division, which is our criterion or main point. Moreover, I mentioned modern politics. One thing we can all agree on is that we learn by what we see. So if we see Pelosi ripping up the State of the Union, or just in general how social media outlets attack Trump or politics, we learn from that. Moreover, we are so divided or polarized that according to a UC Berkeley article published in 2019, in the past 2 decades, the percentage of Americans who consistently held liberal or conservative beliefs rather than a mix of the two has jumped from 10% to over 20%. At the same time, beliefs about the other side are becoming more negative. Since 1994, the number of Americans who see the opposing political party as a threat to the nation's well-being has doubled. This deepening polarization has predictable results: government shutdowns, violent protests, and attacks on elected officials. So if we see division among our peers, we become divided as well because we learn by what we see. To bring up government shutdowns, in 2018, 2019, there was a government shutdown that lasted 35 days, the longest in history. You know why the government was shut down? Trump and Congress could not agree on an appropriations bill to fund the operations of the federal government for the 2019 fiscal year. Again, we are so divided. What good came out of the shutdown that furloughed many and froze people's pay? Did that benefit society? No, it didn't. And we learned from that because we learn by what we see. Think of the topic of abortion. According to an article by Jesse Ballmartin, who writes for the Cincinnati, written in July of 2019, Ohio's heartbeat bill went into law in April 2019. However, in July of 2019, a federal judge blocked the law because it places an undue burden on a woman's right to choose a pre-viability abortion. Ohio was the 6th state in the nation to attempt to enact a bill like this. The key word is attempt. You can clearly see how divided our society is because of what the judge did. So nothing got done to change society. We learn what we see. So if Generation Z sees a divided nation in politics, how can we better society? Moreover, Generation Z can make an impact on politics to better society because of our lack of respect and appreciation. According to Justin Brady, who wrote an article in September 2019 for the Courts at Work organization, he said Generation Z has witnessed much of the workforce experience with a lack of fulfillment, a lack of respect, and a lack of appreciation, which all translates into feelings of their inability to grow. So if we have these feelings of the inability to grow, how can we make an impact on society, especially through politics, to better society? You have to have a sense of respect and appreciation for politics in order to make a positive impact on society. But clearly our Generation Z, doesn't have that ability to grow and have respect. In conclusion, you can clearly see how Generation Z can't make an impact on politics to better society. Because of modern politics, our hyperconnectivity, and our lack of respect and appreciation, we can't make an impact on politics to better society. Thank you.
Before I begin, I'd like to thank my partners Allie Campbell and Marcus Troisi for being dependable and cooperative during this whole debate. I'd like to thank my opponent's side, Jackson Hi, my name is Alyssa Harkins, and so far in the debate, you have heard my partner Allie discuss the effects of the use of social media within politics. Social media provides a faster spread of political opinions and views. As you listen to our debate, I would again like to ask you to view this through the lens of growing and expanding types of technology, social media, and communications. With the current bipartisanship the older generations created, it caused a divide between the people before us. However, according to the U.S. Census data, Generation Z is labeled the most diverse generation in American history. This generation will end the divide and provide far more compromise in politics and society as a whole. Gen Z has provided multiple public showings of the openness and non-traditional views on multiple topics like sexuality and providing a movement called the Me Too movement, giving victims a platform to speak on and voice their stories. Growing up in a time where it is okay to voice who you are and what you believe in, this gives those in Gen Z more courage to vote and make a change. According to the Pew Research Center, Gen Z outvoted the older generations by 2 million votes in the 2018 midterm election. Throughout history, the youngest generation was always the lowest voter turnout. Today, it is among one of the highest. Their sense of boldness and courage and empathy cause a widespread public impact on thousands. With the tools we have today, Gen Z obtains certain traits and experiences that older generations do not have and will never get. With this in mind, they use those experiences and apply them to political beliefs and take a stand. Generation Z approaches political influence in different ways than it ever has approached before. They seek influence and cultural power through their ability to shape broader public opinion. Being able to adapt to a social platform given to them at a young age shows how resourceful they truly are. Gen Z is using their voice, and they are self-organizing political movements and petitions using mass communication. This was not as easy or accessible before, showing that older generations didn't use the resources they had at the time to make important statements. Political movements and changes have increased in the public standpoint by 67%. That means that our generation, Gen Z, has been using our tools to better society. Movements today are hardly run simply just by one leader. Everyone leads in some fashion. Generation Z is much more comfortable building influence at an early age because before, children were taught that their opinions don't matter and that they're too young to understand what's going on. Watching on the news of multiple movements run by adolescents and Gen Z, they're given the courage to use the platform and make an actual change. What does March for Our Lives, Never Again, Me Too, School Strike for Climate, and Black Lives Matter all have in common? They are all either led by members of Gen Z or they are heavily involved in movements. For example, the hashtag Never Again movement was founded by 5 students that were in the Parkland School District during the school shooting massacre. 17 of their classmates were killed by the shooter, and young David Hall, Jacqueline Corin, Emmett Gonzalez, Cameron Caskey, and Alex Wynn wanted to prevent this from affecting anyone ever again. The movement involved students to walk out of the school and protest for stricter gun regulation. This sparked an increase in youth participation in politics and society. This proves that Gen Z's view on politics will better society and will help us vote in general. Thank you.
Generation Z can't make an impact on politics to better society because we are too divided. This is our criteria, and it is critical that you keep it in mind while listening to this debate. This means that you should judge this debate by whether we prove division is prevalent in today's youth. Good morning, I'm Jackson Boyer, and just a moment ago you heard my partner Sam share that we learn through what we see. The current political climate of the world is divided, and this will only get worse. Over time, this division will grow, and the chasm between political parties will widen. This will be destructive for youth when they try to make political impacts. Furthermore, Sam shared that there is a lack of respect and appreciation that leads to youth having an inability to grow. This inability to grow directly correlates with poor political impacts. Driving the two sides of the political spectrum apart is social media. Social media is for many a haven, a place they retreat to, a place of comfort. The problem with social media is information contained in one social media feed typically is information that they agree with. This is an example of echo chambers. beliefs or opinions that coincide with their own. And this is exactly how social media is destroying Gen Z's political impact. People like hearing their own opinions reaffirmed, and social media does this excellently. An article published by Harvard Law Today in March of 2017 says that an unfortunate and largely unintended consequence of the rise of social media is that instead of being better informed and exposed to ever-broadening viewpoints, research shows that Americans today are more polarized and draw from shrinking pools of news. Many people now operate in virtual, gated communities as a result of their call, Facebook, and Twitter feeds and the opaque corporate algorithms that organize people into invisible groups. One can easily see the implications social media has when used political views. They will never learn different views or the ability to rationalize with the other side. As Sam pointed out, the Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley in 2019 stated that there was a jump in people that hold primarily one-sided views by 10%, and that beliefs regarding the other side have become more negative. This growing polarization will not allow for compromise, and this will prove fatal in their ability to make positive political impacts. This proves the lens we ask you to look at this debate through, which is Generation Z can't make an impact on politics to a better society because we are too divided. The hyperconnectivity of today's youth, meaning that they are plugged into social media supporting their opinions, will further divide a generation. The other side will say that social media connects us, that it makes us more knowledgeable and therefore more likely to have a greater political impact. This is false. Our generation can't better society through politics because of social media and its hyperconnectivity. We live in filter bubbles. Much like echo chambers, the idea of filter bubbles, recently demonstrated by the Pew Research Center, shows vision. The Pew Research Center asked people to test who participants would ask for when looking to separate geometric shapes, obviously a non-political task. However, in fact, participants preferred to seek advice from people who held similar political views, deciding they must be more competent. This clearly shows that our political bias affects our decisions, thus deepening our political division. Generation Z can't make an impact on society because we're just too divided. Thank you.
At this point, we will be transitioning into the grand crosswalk.
Okay, Sam, so you said that about the division that keeps growing. So how will it keep growing? Aren't we more inclusive than ever, considering we accept multiple sexualities and choosing your own identity?
Social media has prompted our division because we can get more information out there. And you even said that. You even said social media gets information faster out there. So that prompts our division because of the way we talked about political bias.
Okay, but I asked our inclusivity, talking about being inclusive.
Sure, absolutely. So there's the problem with social media, and not just social media in general, but our generation, is that while there is some inclusion, there is a broadening polarization of both ends of the political spectrum. So what that means is Republicans are becoming more hostile towards Democrats, Democrats becoming more hostile towards Republicans, which will actually result in further division, which then will not allow for constructive political impact when trying to work together.
So the people currently active in our bipartisanship now are not even in Gen Z, and according to the U.S. Census data, that Generation Z is almost like the least bipartisan they've seen at all, and that they think they're going to end the divide in the political views, and that they're not biased and they're going to be more independent and not just Republican or Democrat. There's no really bipartisanship in our generation. We just haven't had a chance to show it yet because the majority of the people in Gen Z aren't the current voting age, so it hasn't really been publicly shown, but it's been looked for.
I think that you have to take that research with a little bit of a grain of salt, because exactly what you said, we don't know. But what we do know is what we can see. And we see, especially on social media, which is something a lot of Gen Z is primarily involved in, is a growing division break out between different political sides arguments that are just absolutely destructive to ever making any positive impact, and that's all because of Generation Z's growing division.
Another question. So if you believe that Gen Z's impact on politics will not benefit society, you are saying that you yourself and a member of Gen Z in the audience have no chance at making a bigger impact or change in the world.
I believe the way we're headed, there is no hope. 'Cause
So
like I
there's
said,
no hope for any of us here in the audience today.
if we continue the way we are with this current division and it growing and never compromising, which is not pointing to doing so, then we wouldn't be able to get, for instance, bills passed. When it becomes our time to step in and take over the House and the Senate, there would be too much of a division that we wouldn't want to work with the other sides. So that would result in bills not getting passed and things like that. So that would be the implications that we would see.
You said about the compromise, but in our generation, we are more diverse. There is far more races. Like, whites are almost like the minority now, and I think that adds more opinions, add more views. Like, I think adding more opinions into the Senate, making bills would be better, and you can make a compromise with more opinions together.
Yeah, but adding more opinions in the Senate, wouldn't you agree with our modern political climate right now, would deepen the division, and we learn by what we see. So we see that, so I'll deepen our division.
Okay, what is wrong with, like, so with conflict, when you have conflict, it can lead to a great solution. And like the Black Lives Matter movement, that changed like so many laws, so many bills, and that came from a conflict, and it made a great thing.
So we're going to go ahead and ask some questions since we haven't got the ability
Yeah.
to ask any so far. You mentioned Greta, the environmental activist. Isn't it true that there are people, especially younger people, that have attacked her on, for instance, social media, and that there is a growing polarization between young people that believe in climate change and that don't?
Yeah, there may have been many people that have attacked her, but there are millions and millions of people that are supporting her and are behind her because she's making a stand and standing up for what she believes in. She's a perfect example of a Gen Z, activist making a change and making a difference in the world with her views. And there are millions and millions of people supporting her.
But likewise, there are also millions that
Right, and that's
aren't.
going to happen in any view, in any debate, any topic.
And also, what would you say to the clearly blatant evidence that the Pew Research Center put out that even in non-political tasks, people only go to people that hold political views similar to their own?
Right, and that's why, due to the social media that we have today, there's more information out there to better prepare and let people with already become more knowledgeable to vote for those political leaders to be able to make better impacts and changes in society.
But what would you say to Harvard about the gated communities, that people only look at things, they only, for instance, follow accounts that support their political
Yeah, there's going to
opinions,
be
so they're
political
actually
bias
never
anywhere,
getting that.
but I don't follow certain Twitter accounts and still see things I don't want to see, but that makes me think, oh, maybe they are right, maybe, I mean, I don't follow them, but I still see the information that's out there.
Well, according to the evidence, that's not along the lines with the population, and that the population is actually only going to follow what best supports their ideas. So,
Exactly, and that's always been the case.
yes, but it's growing. The social media takes it home with you. You see it 24/7, and that's the problem with these new gated communities.
We're going to transition into some audience questions. This is for the con side. Most of your examples involve failures of current politicians, not Generation Z. How can you assume Gen Z will imitate the previous generation?
Because, like I said in my speech, we learn by what we see. We may not be able to be in, Congress, but we learn by what we see.
This is for the pro side.
say that people our age in the world won't make a change. For example, Greta Thunberg, 15-year-old, well, at 15 at the time, making a huge impact on the world. She's 17 now. She was the Time Magazine Person of the Year. I mean, people in the audience might not make a change, but there's definitely people out there our age that are willing to make a change and stand up for what's right.
This one's for the con side. If we learn by what we see, and we can see that this political division is not working, won't Gen Z themselves I think they're asking, if we learn by what we see and we can see that this political division is not working, won't Gen Z fix it themselves?
Not really. So, there is a lot of, think of like when you see your parents do something, you emulate that. When you see elders, people you respect, doing something, you emulate that. So, these are people of high power that are massively divided. And we're only going to see that, find an opinion we believe in, and then emulate that. So, there's going to be a further division because there used to be great bipartisanship, but then there was a little bit of a division, and it just kept growing and growing through the generations because they implement what they see.
This is for the pro side. How would you say that there is no Democrat, Republican segregation in our generation?
There always will be. Everyone will have their own opinions, but we don't know if our segregation is more or worse, like if it's worse or better than previous generation, because the majority of Gen Z can't really vote yet. But since considering how diverse we are, it would show that our generation is willing to get knowledge on each side, pick the side that they're more likely to be towards, but they are more likely to listen to what the other side has to say, and I think that shows diversity and openness.
To follow up, this is for the pro side. You mentioned people receiving political news more and how our generation is told we are too young to understand. But does reading an article or watching a video or TV equate to real life experience?
I've been watching like a live broadcast like of Malala speaking at a young age. If someone was watching that, if I was watching that, I'd be like, wow, that's very inspirational. And back in the older times when they would tell their children, hey, like you don't know enough, that was because they didn't really have any like role models to look after. And I think that since we have role models on TV with live broadcasts, which is real life, will inspire young Gen Zers.
If you don't get out and watch the videos and listen to these people speak at a young age, you won't have any understanding of what to do when you get to the age to be able to make an impact. So you definitely need to watch these videos and understand these people. It might not be real life at the moment, but learning about these different things will help you to make an impact when you have the ability to.
I believe this is for both sides, but social media provides many outlets to information we would never be able to hear. So how doesn't it make us more educated?
We aren't denying that social media, news, apps that connect us are not making us more educated. They're brilliant works that allow us to get new pieces of information. But the problem is when we have certain political views, then we only look up, only read things that reaffirm that, never listening to the other side, nothing like that. So you're getting more educated, especially on your political beliefs, but you're never taking into account what the other side believes.
Final question question here for the con side. You mentioned the current political climate that we aren't a part of, but can you give an example that directly relates to our generation? You mentioned the current political climate that we aren't a part of, but can you give an example that directly relates to our generation?
Sure, absolutely. Climate change is one of them. Every political issue today, so that modern politicians are dealing with, we're also taking a look at. We're commenting on. I mean, think of the times we wrote essays on different political beliefs and what we feel. So we have strong political opinions on the current topics that are in the House of Representatives or Senate right now. So, like I said, social media not social media, I'm sorry, climate change. There are people that hold strong views for it, strong views against it, and they're only getting information and supporting their echo chambers of their beliefs and their opinions.
We will now move on to the rebuttal